Star Wars Rebel Assault was an interesting experiment into the FMV genre that popularised the early 90s. Lucas was always looking to pioneer with new technology, so it makes sense that they'd try these out. After playing Rebel Assault as a child, I didn't realise there was a sequel until many years later, after reading a Star Wars retrospective in a retro gaming magazine. Released in 1995 for the PC and PlayStation, this sequel contains a lot of what was good and bad about the first game. But does Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, The Hidden Empire, realise the aspirations of its predecessor, or does it deserve to be thrown into the exploding Death Star reactor? The first notable difference is Rebel Assault 2 has a unique story campaign. Assuming the role of Rookie 1 from the first game, you're caught up in a plot in which the Empire is experimenting with special TIE fighters, called TIE Phantoms, capable of becoming invisible and avoiding radar detection, allowing them to sneak up on rebels. The story features cameos from famous Star Wars characters such as Darth Vader and Admiral Ackbar, along with Rue Malene from the first game. It begins with a Star Wars opening text crawl, and has a central protagonist rather than a self-insert character. This could easily take place in the Legends universe. Like its predecessor, Rebel Assault 2 is an FMV game. Featuring levels made up of pre-rendered video, you have to move and dodge obstacles and shoot at targets. All three perspectives return: first-person flying, third-person on foot, and a new first-person shooting stage. The gameplay is an improvement on the first game, but only in some areas. The first-person flying levels are a lot better this time. The controls are more responsive, the asteroid levels are a lot easier, you have more room to manoeuvre, and it feels less like you're stuck on a predetermined path. Although this does mean you have to avoid more obstacles and you get penalised for sloppy flying, it feels more like a game this time. If only the same could be said of the third-person flying levels. They were terrible in Rebel Assault and they're no better here. The controls are still overly sensitive, your health still doesn't regenerate fast enough, and you always take too much damage from hitting anything. The TIE Fighter training stage is an absolute chore to play through. If you hit the blurry pixelated wall, you lurch across, hit the other wall, then you die, and die, and die. There's also a speeder bike level which has similar problems. You're just going too fast to avoid anything.
Watch those fallen branches!
The only way to beat these levels is to memorise everything that's coming at you, and where you got hit last time. The game also features a horrible piece of nonsensical programming. In level 3 you fly the not Millennium Falcon through some underground tunnels. It begins as a third-person flying level, which is so much fun. Then without warning it swaps you to first person. And while I like this perspective better, it flips the controls! You'll end up nosediving as you swap perspectives without warning. Where the third-person cover shooter was a one-off in the first game, here there are multiple levels. Unfortunately, these two are a chore to play through. Your targeting crosshair is too small, your health doesn't regenerate at all, and there are no health packs or pickups anywhere in the level. So once you start taking hits, you might as well just restart. The first-person shooter level has similar problems. This definitely isn't Dark Forces. Thankfully, there is a level selection screen, so you don't have to start the game again if you lose all your lives. But there is a snag. If you start from a particular level, it will carry over the number of lives you had at the start of that level. So if you only have one life, you might have to restart the level a lot. The graphics have been upgraded slightly from Rebel Assault, but there's still a lot of pixelation, and it's difficult in some stages to judge what you're supposed to avoid. Interestingly, the PlayStation port featured superior 3D modelling. The cutscenes still feature clips taken from the movies, choppily edited to fit the story. But more interestingly, there are live-action cinematics which were filmed especially for the game. The first time that new footage was filmed for Star Wars media since Return of the Jedi. Unless you count those Ewok movies. A lot of it is actors blue-screened into 3D environments, and featuring some painfully bad acting.
You two! What are you doing here? This is a restricted area. Where are your clearances?
If you've ever wondered what Star Wars would look like if it was a cheap 90s TV movie, here it is. Overall, Rebel Assault 2 is an improvement on the first game. It's still got a lot of the same issues, and there are many frustrating moments, but there is a feeling of accomplishment after you finish a level, and the cheesy cutscenes and low-quality 3D have a certain campy charm. If you have to play one of the Rebel Assault games, this is the better option. So, that's my thoughts on Rebel Assault 2. Did you play this game? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to subscribe, check out the links, visit the site for more cool stuff. Thank you for watching.
Good shooting, team. Okay, let's go home.